Hi everyone, I'm dannphan. I'm a comic creator and I also love manga. And a lot of people who are into American comics are kind of shifting over to reading more manga these days. So I actually do often get asked recommendations for manga to read from people who have never read a single chapter or seen any anime or don't know anything really about Japan or their culture, but they're looking to get into more manga because they hear that the stories are much more creative, much more independent, and quite frankly, much better than a lot of American comics coming out these days. So for this video, I decided to do a short list of some quick recommendations that I can recommend for people who are looking to get into manga, who are complete noobs, complete beginners. Now, what do I mean by manga for beginners per se? As with most things, you'll probably want to be recommending something with a lot of mass appeal. You know, like a good shotgun, you gotta get something with a nice spread. You wanna hit all the targets around you. But another thing that I was considering when I was putting together some manga recommendations is the length of the manga. Now, I know a lot of us grew up watching One Piece or Naruto, but those series has become quite massive, much more massive than when we were reading it as a child. You know, we had our whole life to catch up. People who are just getting into manga now will probably not want to dedicate perhaps 10 years of their life catching up to it. So for this list, I wanted to keep it more of a moderate read, like around or below 200 chapters. It's a good chunk to read for the binger without it being too much and too overwhelming for someone who is just now getting started in manga. Another thing is I didn't want there to be too much intensity with these recommendations, too much weird stuff that would maybe scare people away. And so, without further ado, let's get into the list. First recommendation, Full Metal Alchemist. Now, chances are, if you're watching this video for these recommendations, you've already heard Full Metal Alchemist, you've already been recommended it a million times. There's a good reason for that, because it is genuinely a very solid series, and it does have a lot of mass appeal. It's one of those manga series that's very solid characters in it that keep you hooked from the beginning, and the story is genuinely quite intriguing. It follows the tale of two brothers who live in the world of alchemy, where you can create something new based on like equivalent exchange, and they made the mistake of trying to revive their dead mother, which left them creating a monstrosity and losing parts of their body instead. This manga series sits at a pretty tasteful 110 chapters, and I think that's a very decent read considering how much content you get in the series and how engaging it is. I would definitely be recommending Full Metal Alchemist. There's also two great anime series attached to this manga series, although most people would probably recommend that you check out the manga first. Next up on the list, Spy X Family. Although it is pronounced Spy Family, but say it however you want. If I want you to actually Google search it, I have to specify it's Spy X Family so that you can find it. Spy X Family tells the tale of two countries who are currently in the middle of a Cold War, exchanging spies back and forth and trying to prevent a war. Our main character is a spy who's trying to go undercover with a family and enter a kid into a school to get closer to the dean at the school, etc., etc. Little does he know the family that he puts together is compromised of an assassin for his opposing country and a little girl who is a telepath and can read both their minds, so she actually knows everything that's happening despite him thinking that she's blissfully unaware of his operation. This is a genuinely wholesome series. It's very well written, it's very funny at times. You might be surprised to know that it's actually quite action-packed with some pretty nifty spy spy scenes. This manga series currently sits at 78 chapters, which is quite digestible. Granted, it is a low chapter count, mostly just because it's a newer series. So if you want to hop on and start reading, now is as good a time as ever to hop on the Spy X Family bandwagon. Next series on the recommendation, My Love Story. Now this, some of you might turn your nose up on this one, but I wanted to put at least one slice of life romance option on this list, as I have quite a lot of romance recommendations I could be giving you. But this one is probably one of the most solid, most wholesome of the slice of life romance genre. It tells the story of a big boy who's known for being quite strong, but not quite popular with the ladies, as opposed to his best friend, who is a complete pretty boy, most popular boy in school. Every girl he's ever liked has always fell for his best friend because he's the pretty boy. But one day, he finds a extra cute, pretty girl, and guess what? She falls for him. And it is genuinely sweet and funny, and if you're a fan of romance comedies, you'll probably want to check this out. Now, unlike a lot of other romance options in the realm of manga, this one is quite short, but it's not short in a way that leaves you kind of bummed out, like, there should be more. I feel like it's a good length where you'll feel pretty satisfied with it. So this is the shortest recommendation on the list, and I feel like it's pretty solid. And what better way to follow up the shortest recommendation on the list than with the longest recommendation on the list, One Punch Man. Chances are you might have seen this flying around before. Originally a webcomic, it became a manga series and a fantastic anime series as well. This tells the story of a superhero who grew to be way too strong, and now he defeats every villain with one punch and essentially had a middle-age crisis. Now he's not really sure what he wants to do with his time, desperately wants to find a villain that's too strong for him to beat in one punch, but it doesn't really seem like that's happening anytime soon. As the series continues, the world expands, you get to meet other superheroes in the world, and it kind of pokes fun at some of the superhero genres, as it is a action comedy. It is the most hefty recommendation on the list, of course, but I feel like it's still worthy of recommending to someone who's a beginner because there's a lot of good stopping points in the manga where you can stop for a bit and feel satisfied and come back to it when you want to read more. The artist for the One Punch Man manga is probably the best on this list, if we're being honest. He's known for having really crisp and really nice action pages, and it's an absolute joy to read through the manga. So if you are like really into nice crisp action, you really can't start reading manga unless you're gonna pick up One Punch Man and at least get through one volume. Next on the list, I'm a little bit biased on this one, Blue Exorcist. Yes, one of my personal favorites, although I've been kind of critical of the last few chapters as it is still ongoing, slowly approaching its ending. Blue Exorcist is the tale of Satan's son, who has inherited a lot of Satan's power with the ability to see demons and conjure flames. He ends up joining this religious school of exorcists to fight demons, while keeping it secret that he is actually the son of Satan. And since this is a manga originating in Japan, yes, he has a katana that he fights with. Another great manga with very great characters that kind of hook you in immediately. Some beautiful environmental art in this manga series. Right now, it's at 139 chapters, and like I said before, I kind of feel as though we're getting closer to finally getting to the end of Blue Exorcist, so even when this manga does end, it'll still be a easier series to get through all of. There are 2 anime series also based and connected to Blue Exorcist. Would I recommend them? You should read the manga first. For the first anime series based on Blue Exorcist, it started off good, and then at one point they just decided to do whatever the heck they wanted with the anime. They didn't want to wait to figure out what actually happens in the manga. They just went off the rails. And then they tried to fix it with another anime that came out, but it didn't have the best pilot episode to connect with that anime, and the whole thing is just a mess with the anime. The manga is still very, very good. So that is all I have for you for now, as far as recommendations. There's just like 5 easy ones that I can list off the top of my head that I think a lot of people would enjoy and that I personally genuinely enjoyed. However, these are not the only mangas that I can recommend to people. And if you would like me to do more videos where I maybe list off 5 more manga for beginners, or anime for beginners, or, you know, and give you plenty of romance options, because boy have I read a lot of romance manga in my time. Let me know if you would like some more lists down below in the comments section, and let me know your own recommendations that you would recommend for beginners just getting into manga, not used to Japanese culture or anything like that. They just want to sink their teeth into something that most people in America would enjoy. Lastly, let me add a 6th recommendation. Horizon Quest, my comic currently funding right now on Indiegogo. Ooh, we're running out of time, so you better get your copy while you can. This is a collaborative project between me as the artist and fantasy writer Adam Meisner. As you can see, it's sort of done in more of a Western anime style. I had an absolute blast working on it. It's so heartwarming to see how many people have contributed to backing this project and helping us reach our goal, and I hope that you watching are one of those people. So check out the link in the description if you would like to look at this project and see if it's something that's worth your time. After all, you clicked because you're looking for more reading material, right? Like the video if you did enjoy, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from this gal over here. Join the fan club if you'd like to see some sneak peeks at some comics that I'm working on, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Program restart.